Hello everyone, welcome to the database management course, week number 3. I am sharing with you Blackboard for week number 3 homepage. As usual, there is a list of objectives that we want to accomplish and a simple instructional material, namely the lesson plan, and one assignment for this week. So what I want to do is to go through the lesson plan and tell you what you need to know and what you need to do. So if you click on this, you should get something like this, or you should get this one exactly. So the topic of this week is learning about relational database management system. And basically all I'm asking you to do is to go to Zybook, Chapter 2, and go through the assigned sections and go through the material and do the activities. I will highlight some of these for you, but let's take a quick look at the Zybook Chapter 2. So if you come here directly, you should see, I came here directly just to show you what's available there. What you want to do is, when you're ready to do the homework, to make sure you click on this, it'll take you to the assigned sections. But I come here directly just to show you. So we did talk about the relational models here before in the previous week. It may be a good review for you to just kind of go over them a little bit. But in terms of the relational databases, there are some unique features that you need to know. So the reason why it's called relational database is because this database is made up of what's called tables, and those tables are related to one another, right? And the table is made up of columns and rows. And so let me show you what I mean by that. So let's see here. So this would be a representation of how, or logical representation of how the relational database looks like. It's made up of these tables, and the table has rows and columns, right? There's more than one column typically, but in this one, just there's only one. But these tables are what makes up the relational databases. And each table is related to at least another. There are some times where it kind of stands alone, but that's very rare and unique. As you can see, these tables are related in some specific manner from the way that it is indicated by the type of the link in between. So you want to know about how these tables are created, how these tables are. Here's one table with table ID, name, and a salary, and things like that, right? So you want to know about what they are and how to create them, and eventually to query them. The null value is important because the null value, let's see if it gives you an example. So here is one table, and this is called a null. Null is a specific a value that there is no value in that particular column or that in that box. It is not, null is not equal to blank spaces. It is not equal to zeros. There's really nothing there. It's null. And a lot of times when you see with your eyes, if there's a spaces, then you may think it's nothing's there, but there may be some things. There may be some special characters, like carriage return and things like that, that does not get rendered for a visual perception. So in order to have just purely nothing, we use what's called a null value. Those null values are typically controlled. You may want to have a null value. You may not want to have a null value. So that's an important concept that you want to be aware of. Another concept is what's called a primary and foreign keys. as I've shown you briefly here, these tables have what's called a little key here called primary key. And the primary key is what is used to organize and order these rows in a table. And they should be unique. There should not be any duplications. And then there's what's called a foreign key, a key that is on a table, but that key is refers to another table's primary key. And why would you want to do that? It's because they're related, and it's a little bit unique to the relational database. And so if this table is related to this, you want to be able to not duplicate the data. And so the way you want to organize them is have some sort of key that ties them together. So the key is in here that is referring to the primary key on another table is what's called a foreign key, because that key is foreign to this table, but it is a primary key in another table. And the way it's used and specified, you need to be aware of. So here are some examples that will probably let you know. Okay, so go through them and take a look at them and see. We'll be actually creating some of these in using the ERD diagram. But this right now is more of a concept, right? So, and then there's referential integrities that we need to talk about. The way that these are related here needs to be in such a way that there is no confusion how these are related. So you cannot have many of these are related to many of these. It is really confusing as to how they are related exactly. So referential integrity is another concept that you want to be aware of. Normal form is a good concept for you to know. You may not be able to control it a lot in our real life examples, but the normal form is the idea that we use to reduce the duplication. So you want to have data in a table that is only a minimally required, and it's not redundant in any other way, not only in that table, but also any other tables. So there are different levels of normal forms that we can have. And although we want to have normalized tables as much as we can, there are times that need some exceptions, mainly for some efficiency. So this section will talk about those. But that's pretty much it for this week. Be sure to go through those exercises and do them. And as always, feel free to email me if you have any questions. Otherwise, look forward to receiving your work. Take care. Bye-bye.